probably all, oh, there we go. But we've probably all been the culprit of it. A suntan, not only is it, of course, unhealthy and damages the skin, but it looks bad. So wear your sunscreen, put it on every morning, and that's going to help it with appearance as well, just keeping a sunburn away. This one says pluck, tweeze, trim, cut, shave. Trim your eyebrows, trim the ear hair, trim the nose hair, shape up the beards. If you don't know how to do it, call me, ask your wife, ask your roommate, do a Google search. Trim, it's going to go a really long way. I think a lot of guys do a really good job, but it is something that, again, when you're pulling it all together, it's going to make a big difference. So we just had somebody in the audience say there's some great YouTube videos on how to trim and how to shape. And actually there are some really great ones. Men who have beards, there are beautiful things that you can do with your beards. It's all out there. The information is there. This one, we're going to get a little bit into packing and laundry tips. Again, we talked about how we're going to have to really condense to make this all work. And so these are just some tips that might get you a little bit more mileage out of what you are packing. This is a common one that a lot of us know, and that's rolling your clothing. For anyone who hasn't done this before, again, YouTube it. That's a great idea. And you can see how when you roll the clothing, you can fit in just that much more into a suitcase. It really goes a long way. Another thing is the packing cubes. For those of you who haven't played with them before, they are so brilliant. There are cheap ones, there are expensive ones. The expensive ones are really nice. The cheap ones are still great too. The gift shop is going to be carrying some packing cubes for us. So if you're interested, hit up the gift shop. So the packing cubes are wonderful because as we go from place to place to place, hotel to hotel to hotel, inside your littlest cube, all your socks are right there. So when you're in and out of the hotels, you're staying neat, you're staying organized. And in addition to that, it's going to help compress everything that you're packing. So it's going to keep you really organized as we're moving all over the place. And again, it's going to help actually physically condense the product as well. Okay, 10 points for anybody who knows why we're packing vodka. No? Okay. Not for stains. So in a professional theater or in a professional ballet company, they actually use vodka for cleaning all of their costumes. I shouldn't say that. I'm sorry, that was an exaggeration. For many of their costumes. And that's because on something like a tutu, it cannot be dry cleaned and it cannot be washed. So vodka, similar to rubbing alcohol, where it's going to kind of sterilize things. The vodka, the difference there is that there are specific dyes that will react with the rubbing alcohol and make them bleed. But with the vodka, they won't. So if you like this tip, you can get a little tiny travel spray bottle, a little 3-ounce bottle, pour your vodka in it. And then if you have an outer layer that you really aren't ready to wash yet, but you'd like to get a little more mileage out of it, you can spray it. Or if you're lucky enough to have, you know, a bottom pant that you could wear more than one day, but it needs a little freshening, you can spray these. This is going to give your clothing a little bit extra mileage, or forget it. Even if you've been out all day, you're like, I just need to wear these pants again, you can spray them up.
It's not going
to give everything a little lift. Can you guys please mute that are on Zoom? Thank you.
They finally got, no, I'm always cold.
Oh, okay. So
okay. Next we're going to go into.
I'd like to say one more
Yeah,
thing.
I just
Rolling
got
the-
it going in here. We had all kinds of issues.
Oh,
Not only does it
Oh,
help
it's
you
now that hang up on.
put more things into the suitcase, but they come out without wrinkles. That's the big bonus. You'll learn if you want to watch a little YouTube video, some of the simple ways that rolling things can be folded and then rolled. But I roll everything. And when I get to Myrtle Beach, the clothes come out with barely a wrinkle in them, as opposed to what you get when you're packing things flat, which takes up more room and makes more permanent creases. So
we're going to jump into a little DIY laundry. For those of you that remember, there's going to be one opportunity to do laundry along the whole trip. There will be an opportunity on the East Coast if you're stopping first on the East Coast. But for the Europe portion, there's going to be one opportunity to do laundry, and that's going to be at a hotel in Seville, and you can expect it to be in the hundreds of dollars. So that being said, if you wanted to do a little DIY laundry, we have found this very wonderful little bag here. I don't know if you can't see right there in the bottom corner there. It's called a scrub-a-bag, and you can buy it on Amazon. And it's a little bag, a little nylon bag, and it has a scrubbing pad on the bottom of it. So you just open up the little thing, you put in your little detergent, your travel detergent sheets that you've packed in, you slip them in. It can fit about 2 to 3 to 4 garments in there. You pop them in there, you close it up, and then you just scrub away for about 2 to 3 minutes. Take it out, you carefully wring it out. And then if you've packed a clothesline, you can prop up a little clothesline and you can dry your clothing. Or if your roommates are kind enough, you can dry it in the shower or whatever works for you. We've tested this out. It works great. It's really exciting. There's, of course, sink laundry. You can alternatively do sink laundry if your roommate also doesn't mind. But this is something that we found that it can be really helpful to actually get, some of your real laundry through. It also folds up quite small, so it compresses about that size. So it's a nice little trick if you needed help with doing laundry while you're there.
Okay, now we're going to get into specific clothing pieces. We're going to start with pants, work our way up. So I said slimmer cuts are generally what you're going to see more of in Spain. Drawstring pants, pleated pants, plain front, cotton, linen, lightweight khakis, lightweight chinos, especially if they're mostly cotton, seersucker, which is the fabric of the tropics. Those are all wonderful. We're suggesting that, as we said, shorts are going to have the liability of not being able to get into churches, but there may be days when we're not going to be going into churches, or days when you're not taking any alternative pair of pants with you. But the shorts should be handsome, nicely tailored. Please, no big cargo pockets. Nice, a longer cut, more of a day wear cut, more of a gentleman's look, as if you can. But in the evenings, we will not be wearing pants, and we'll not be wearing shorts to dinner, especially evenings with Murshid, as it is in Yukon Dunes, that you come a little more dressed up. The colors in general, you'll see when Candice, and I'm sorry, I'm having some reaction to something in the room. The colors you'll see with Candice are really suggesting a lot of neutrals, whatever the neutral color for you, if it's beige, if it's brown, if it's blue, what your basics are. So that they can all work together with maybe colorful prints or shots of color or something on top. You might want to bring a pair of darker pants if that works with your capsule wardrobe to give you a little bit more of a formal look in the evening. I mean, you can quickly dress yourself up with a white shirt and a pair of black slacks. I mean, it just kind of goes dressy that way. The lengths we're talking about, as you see here, there's a nice gentle break at the top of the shoe. But younger guys might like to wear the really slim pant that has the break that ends at the ankle, that shows your ankle. Also slim pants that you can roll up at the ankle. That's another nice look, but that's something that younger guys are really into. Older guys totally welcome to get into it. But I do want to emphasize that because you're going to be washing all of your clothes and pre-shrinking them, especially if you have new clothes, before you go, make sure that if you buy pants that are fuller, more flowing cut, that they absolutely are not, what's the term? Plugs, right. Nothing is worse than a full cut pant that is way too short. That means something that comes up into the ankle area and looks like it's shrunk, which is what it has done. And sometime I can tell you all the stories about my first real big sit-down with Mercer's Juice after I'd been a Sufi for 2 years, and all she wanted to talk about was how the men's socks didn't match their pants and all their pants were too short. And she went on for like an hour, and then she said, "Oh, thank you, dear." That was it. She only was talking about what she sees from sitting up on the podium when she looks at the men. So I felt it was my obligation to share everything I can about that with you.
Actually, but to piggyback on that, just for fun, because we're all here, so we all care. That is kind of a fun thing to think about when we go to dinner with him and he's sitting there and we're in Europe and we've all come this way together and he's looking out at us. What's he going to see? you know, so whatever energy we put into that, he's gonna, you know, that's literally gonna be his view. So I like to think about that, you know, if I need a little encouragement to get going, it's kind of a fun way to think about it. That's what he's gonna see. He's gonna see you. He's gonna see you sitting across from him.
Robaneve,
Yes.
Robaneve, when you go to the right, you're off mic and you're out of the camera.
Thank you so much. How's that?
Perfect.
Thank you for telling me. Okay. Candice and I can kind of share this spot, right? And
Yeah.
Thank you. I assume that those are going to be the same pants because you're not going to have a with Mershid, not with Mershid wardrobe. We're not going to have.
When we get more variety. It's correct. Let's see here. You're definitely going to see more variety when we get into the capsule wardrobe portion. One thing, everybody's going to find their own way and everybody's going to wear what works for them and it's going to look different for everyone. And one thing that has kind of been mentioned is as we go through as a group, we're kind of an elephant, or we're a, I don't know what the phrase is, but we're a very big thing in a very small place. So as much as we can kind of move delicately through. So the idea was that fashion is a wonderful way, again, that same concept of when someone looks out and they see this elephant. If it's a well-groomed elephant, it's a little more forgiving versus, and this is no one in the room, but versus we come in and we've got our baseball caps and we've got our branded t-shirts and our cargo shorts bulging with, you know what I mean? So all of it can help the whole, and not just the group that you're traveling with, but there will be groups that'll be coming after us. And so everything that we do affects everyone, especially think about that last group who's had all the groups come in before them. Anyway, but all that being said, yes, we're going to get into more versatile looks that will kind of mix and match through the whole.
Yeah. I mean, I think it goes without saying also that these days, the more that we can project really lovely images of Americans in Europe, the better it is for everybody, right? Tops. Okay, again, woven cotton and linen. These are going to be your friends. Light, breathable, stylish. Do not leave out stylish in everything that you're thinking of. So if it's something that you've always worn and it's kind of boxy and it's really comfortable, you might take a look downtown, walk around, see what people are wearing, check a couple magazines or go online and just look what are the most current fresh looks because they've changed. Shirts are now being tucked in a lot more. This is an answer to your question about belts. So more of a tucked in, clean, crisp look is something that we're moving towards as well. Even though on a hot day, I'll grant you, I want to wear my shirt out. So look for a shirt that maybe isn't a real long one, but maybe that's been tailored so that it's more of a, there's a company called Tuck It, so that they're shaped gently, but but they're shorter and they're meant to just kind of hit at an attractive place on your hip without being overwhelmingly long and big. And if you can, you might be able to tuck them in. Nice to have shirts that have straight bottoms, like the Filipino or the Mexican style shirts. They're very clean and they're meant to be worn out and also in hot weather. Pastels and colors, patterns, all of these can reflect the sun. So consider how bright you want to be, how bright the colors are will make a difference in the amount of heat that they take in. They'll be cooler for the day if you go with a lighter tone. At night, you can definitely wear a darker shirt if you'd like, or a darker pant. I mean, I think it's a more dramatic, more elegant look, but I think you'd want to not count on that during the daytime. Long sleeves rolled up. That's another look that's really nice in linen or breathable cotton. And if you have some nice long sleeve shirts, they can also serve as a layer over the top of a t-shirt or something. So just like Bay Area people are accustomed to dressing in layers, that's another thing that you can be thinking in terms of there, how to get the most out of your fewer pieces to make layers. knits, cottons, and linens. These are, of course, going to be terrific because they're so easy to wear and they're not wrinkled, but they're not going to be quite as cool as a linen shirt or a cotton shirt. So polo shirts are great. They're very put together. They're casual. They look great with a collar up, which protects your neck from too much sun. They look nice if the armbands kind of knit at the edge. It's a little more of a muscle look. It's kind of attractive that way. T-shirts. You can wear a t-shirt if it's high quality. We're not talking about an undershirt. We're talking about a good quality t-shirt with a firm, well enforced band at the neck. Usually they're like whites, blacks, neutrals. You can wear a colored one, but it makes it a little less dressy. If you go with these neutral colors, they're a little more dressy. They layer well, as you can see on the gentleman at the end. He's wearing an open weave material that drapes and breathes. That's something very Spanish. You'll see a lot of that kind of woven Spanish fabric that men wear for sweaters. Other kinds of tops, jackets, and sweaters. Candice made me promise that I would say again and again.
You need one. You need one. You need one. No, but all kidding aside, to be really hot. To be really, really hot. So, you know, you might want something for the airplane, but otherwise, you're not going to be needing a jacket. That being said, watch in the mountains of Rhonda that you need the jacket. But really, truly, I mean, the coolest that we're looking to get is about 65 from all the weather reports that we're reading. The temperature climbs as the evening moves on. So here in the desert country, we're used to, you know, the sun sets and all of a sudden you get a little bit of breath and it cools down. Not over there. It races. It just accelerates. It gets so blazing in the evenings. So, you know, we're not trying to over promote a jacket here. You might want one for the airplane.
Just a little journey. Hold on. Let's see. There we go. All right, guys. I bumped it, squeezed it by mistake. Okay, that said, still, if you are taking a jacket, perhaps you have an unlined jacket, which is something that literally is unstructured on the inside, although it's structured on the outside. The sleeves can be rolled up. And like I say, if you have to tie it around your waist, you could even do that. You'll also see a lot of guys who wear a thin sweater, looped around their neck, over their shoulders. I can even show you cool ways to tie it so that it hangs nicely. It's an additional layer from the sun. It's an optional layer that you can have for if it does get cold. And then you can wear it all by itself as just as a long sleeve shirt with the sleeves pushed up. So.
Shoes. Okay. This might be one of the most important things that you are packing for the trip. This is going to be an incredibly active trip. We're going to be walking with Murshid. We're going to be outdoors. The days are just going to be that. They're going to be in motion. They're going to be moving. So you really want to think about the shoes that you're packing. If you are going to buy a new pair of shoes for the trip, break them in. Spend 2 weeks breaking them in. And after you've broken them in, then go on a 2-mile walk to make sure you can walk 2 miles in those shoes. You really, really want to have comfortable feet. It's going to make all the difference when all the other elements are kind of coming down on you. And, you know, to know that you're in good shoes to kind of make the journey. That being said, you can look at some different shoe options and kind of play to see, you know, what can I get away with? What is a dressier look that might be a lifted look that I can still go the miles in. So these were some things that we kind of pulled from this style on the top left right here. This is a really common European style. You're not going to see so much of the really kind of classic American rounded kind of Nike New Balance that we have. We have a kind of a very rounded tennis shoe that is very distinctly American. Versus in Europe, they have a little bit more of this kind of pointed tennis shoe when it comes to their tennis shoes. Down here, you're going to see some fun options. This is a Horacha.
Or a fisherman's sandal.
A fisherman's sandal. Again, you do want to be careful because you do need to have a closed toe shoe for the churches. So if you're going to pack something like that, you want to be very intentional as to when you're going to use it. A penny loafer can be a really beautiful thing for the evening if you're a gentleman who can walk in a penny loafer. So again, like making sure that you can walk. I would recommend for your evening shoes, we have a very awesome rascally merchant. So, you know, who's to say that we don't go to dinner with him and then he takes us all on a mile-long walk after dinner. So make sure even for your dinner shoes, they don't need to be able to do, you know, the 3 miles that your walking shoes during the day need to be able to do. Even your evening shoes, I would recommend you're able to still walk in them to, you know, a decent amount as well, because that is something that might happen. Down here, we've got some espadrilles. Those can be fun too. Again, with a lot of shoes, you can't just say that these shoes, one shoe is good across the board and one shoe is bad across the board. It really comes down to the different brands, and it really comes down to your foot. So get to the store, get your feet in some shoes, try on some shoes. If they're good enough, then get to breaking them in and then get to going on long walks with them. Another thing that could be helpful with shoes is inserts. They're really, really expensive custom ones, $150. You can go that route. Or you can just pop into CVS and for $15 to $30, you can get some gel inserts. And that will actually take you a really long way with a more formal shoe that you may not have been able to walk distances in before. A gel insert could really take you a few extra miles. Suggested pairs. Again, this is something that's really personal to each individual, but something that you could consider is having a day pair of shoes and then a night pair of shoes. And it's nice having the different pair of shoes to kind of give your feet a rest from the different styles. It's nice, and it gives you a little bit more mileage with the wardrobe looks. And the reason that we're saying that number is, again, you want to give your feet a rest, but on the flip sides, really challenging yourself to how many shoes do I need to pack, just because they take up so much space in the suitcase. So what you don't need to pack is extra room in the suitcase.
I'm going to say just a couple more things about shoes. If you already have a pair of good walking shoes, like a tennis style walking shoe, and they're really good for you, clean them up. Just make them look fresh, make sure they look fresh and clean and really nice. If you're looking for some kind of shoe that will definitely give you good support, we have some great stores in the area. We have a store called Footloose, which is up just past in the mall, just past John Muir. It's near the Foot Locker, or yeah, I think it's Foot Locker, but it's a little store in there, Footloose. David Kershaw is a family member of the Walk Shop still, right? In Berkeley. Oh, he did. He sold it. Well, the Kershaws developed it. Yeah, I mean, and so in Berkeley, it's a fabulous store. So it's got all kinds of really handsome, really sturdy, well-made walking shoes. That's what we're looking for. I have just been told that I'm going to have a couple of knees replaced. So I'm very concerned about how to protect my knees. And I was told by lots of people when I looked online that Hoka's, H-O-K-A's, are the very best to really protect and cushion your knees. My husband did a little more research today with a podiatrist, and he said the kinds of shoes that are like rocker shoes that are supposed to be so good for your knees are actually lethally dangerous on cobblestones. So you have to judge for yourself. If you need to have a shoe that's as low impact as possible, think about the fact that we're not going to be walking on completely flat surfaces, which is what's assumed by anybody out here who's making good, well-advised referrals to you. H-O-K-A, yeah. They come in many different levels, and a lot of people are wearing them. And my vanity hit the wall when I had to go look at them. But I'm going to have at least one pair. But I'm not going to get the top of the line, which are kind of rockers, which nurses wear, you know, to kind of reduce the impact. But I'd say that walking shoes have become such a fashion statement that Nordstrom has tons of them. They've got a lot. However, the people that sell them are not as informed about the ins and outs and the details as you would find at a store like Footloose the walk shop, you know, experts like that. Oh, you want to talk?
No, take it away.
Well, this is my homage to Murshida. If you're going to wear socks, they should match the tone of your pants, not your shoes. I have seen things going both directions. People who are really fashionable and really stylish can get away with all kinds of rule breaking. And we're not trying to give you a lot of rules, but this is one that Murshida felt strongly about. And so that's how I generally observe it as well. I find that if you extend the look, the length of your leg by having a shoe, a sock that matches your leg, it's just, you know, it gives you a longer, more complete look. And so I'm showing you that here. You've got the sock that really relates more to the pant, even though the shoe is brown. If you can get away with a low sock, either a low no-show sock or a low rise, you're going to be happy to not have a lot of heavy sock material around your ankles. Plus the fact, you know, it's kind of a beautiful look, a man's leg in a loafer or something without socks. I mean, it's very preppy and very old money. Don't know why they could afford socks, but they didn't, so that's how it goes. It's also very European.
As we mentioned before, we're going to be spending a lot of times outdoors during the days. We're going to be very active and we're going to be in the direct sun a lot. So a hat is recommended to cover. This is another thing where you really just got to get in the stores and try on hats. Hats can be tricky for some men. Some men can pull them off great. Others, it's a little bit harder to do. We're really encouraging men to go for it. Make it a fashion statement. Make it something beautiful. Maybe not REI, but I do want everyone to do what's best for them. At the same time, there's some really beautiful looks out there. That being said, hats, if you get a really nice, beautiful structured hat, it is going to be extra work to travel with. That being said, there's something called a hat clip. And I apologize, I should have included a picture. It's a little round piece and another little round piece, and they have very strong magnets in them connected with a little loop up top. And you just take your little hat and it can clip right onto your bag, and then you can go, whether it's in the middle of the day and you're like, I'm over this hat for the moment, and you just clip it on your bag and keep going, or whether it's at the airport and you're clipping it as you're getting in and out of the airplane. It is a lot more work to have a nice, beautiful, structured hat. I will say it is one of the accessories that can really make an entire look, is a really well-structured hat. So keep that in mind when you're doing your shopping. And I really encourage you to go in the stores and try them, just because it is it's kind of like sunglasses. You can't really tell even from the picture. You got to kind of put it on. Straw and palm are different. Straw is straw material and palm is from the palm tree. Those two are going to be really nice and breathable. If you wanted to start with a Google search or something online, those are going to be the most breathable of the hats.
If you do want to if you want to try to pack your hat, it is possible. And this is something that women do whenever we're traveling. You put the hat flat down in the middle of the suitcase and you stuff underwear, socks, whatever, into the brim to keep it firm and supported. You stick the clothes in there, and then your rolled up clothes, you just kind of scoot it around the top of it and protect it, and it'll come out in most cases in lovely condition. So if you can't travel with it on you, you want to try traveling with it in the suitcase, there are ways to do it. Okay, now we're getting into accessories. This is the fun part. You've already gotten your outfit. You've gotten your pants, you've got your shirt and all that. There's so many ways to personalize and raise the look. And our Murshid is exemplary at that. And you've probably all noticed it. And I hope that you're considering it for yourselves as you're getting dressed for occasions. Scarves and bandanas. This is kind of a staple you're going to find in Spain. I think that's how the gauchos and the cowboys started out with their bandanas. This was part of their heritage. And down, especially in the southern part of Spain, they wear them around their necks. It offsets the heat. It absorbs perspiration. And they just wear it for looks. It's kind of kind of a macho look. And if it's a handsome thing, you can also put it folded nicely around your headband, your hat as a headband, and just pull it off when you need it and put it around your neck. If you should need a shawl or any kind of scarf for warmth, or if you're wearing a really short sleeve t-shirt and we're going into a church, they're going to want you to cover your arms a little bit. So you might be able to do that, use that as well. We're getting some really pretty bandanas in the gift shop. I just saw some pictures of them and they're adorable. So we're going to be carrying some. You can start looking, not real big, like 21 inches by 21 inch, doesn't have to be huge. And I would wash them again in advance, make sure that they're nicely softened.
Yep.
Ooh, I keep doing this. Can you find us back there? Sunglasses. Really, it's a very important fashion statement, and it's worth investing in a good pair of sunglasses. And if you've already had cataract surgery and you're fortunate that you don't really need the sunglasses for distance, but you just use them for reading, there's still a lot of really good looking styles. And I often take people shopping for glasses because it's hard to see ourselves. We're so accustomed to getting the same kind of pair of glasses that we've had for years and years. And those tend to be outdated, or as we age and our coloring changes, those little wire rims that looked kind of sharp at one time, they disappear in a way that doesn't enhance us. It kind of just grays us down. So I encourage you guys to step up, look around, check out some of the new styles. The Ray-Bans that you see down there, they're always in style. They're classics. Something with a little bit of tortoise shell, maybe something with a little rounder shape. It's a good thing to enjoy and play around with. Aviators, just a little trendier, and a good looking pair of sunglasses and a good looking hat and a bandana and a white shirt and a pair of beige slacks. You look awesome. So it's just a really nice step up. Umbrellas. The rain in Spain falls mainly in the plain. I think you've got it. Anybody get this? Okay, they can or cannot. But they can also offer sun protection. And I did look, you may have checked also about whether it rains, because who would think that it would. There's really, in Spain in particular, we'll get some drizzles. We get some drizzles in Assisi, but they say the good thing about Spain is really it only tends to rain for maybe 1 month out of the year, and that's kind of July into August. So, so we will not only get a lot of heat, but we may be refreshed by rain as well. So just be prepared for that. Want to take this one?
Accessories. So bags, this was a really interesting comment, and I want to be careful because I'm referencing Murshid, but he did say one time, we're walking in the city in reference to bags. We're not going hiking, we're taking a walk in a city. It just happens to be that we're walking all day in the city and we're doing several miles. That being said, a big bulky backpack is a great way to make sure everybody knows that you're a tourist and you're traveling and you're really, So if you don't need to carry something, don't carry it. We're going to be out and about. We can buy water when we're out and about in the city. So really thinking about the essentials that you're going to need to put in a bag, and then being really intentional with the bag you do pack. So if you do need a bag, go get a good looking bag. These are kind of fun bags right here. This one on the top, this is kind of a crossbody sling. It holds a phone very nicely and a couple other small accessories. And of course, as with all the information in the presentation, you must do you. If there's something that you know that you need in order to keep you safe and keep you on your feet and keep going, please do that. Common sense above anything that's being said here today. But all that being said, if you can get away with a smaller bag, you might look into some of these fun kind of crossbody bags. And at the end, we've saved the best for last, which is the capsule wardrobe, in which we'll start talking about how to pull it all together. Belts. A braided belt, a braided fabric belt, is one that's going to breathe a little bit more nicely. The question was asked, do you have to wear a belt? No, you don't have to wear a belt. The main thing is, of course, this is again common sense, put the whole look on, go to the mirror and look in the mirror and see how it all pulls together. Some looks read much better without a belt, and others, I mean, a belt just takes it to the next level. I will say during the days, it's going to be hot. So again, if you can get that collared shirt that is tailored nicely and doesn't need to be tucked in, you might be a whole lot more comfortable. The evenings, again, the evenings might be a nice time where you do tuck your shirt in and you do put a belt on. So that's something to consider. Jewelry, you want to be mindful of kind of what you're wearing out in the heat, what's going to work for you. But that being said, if you're someone doesn't have sensory problems, bracelets can look really awesome. You know, some of these, how do you want to call them?
Yeah, they're beaded, and Spanish guys wear a lot of bracelets, leather bracelets, thong bracelets, beaded bracelets, layered. They're called the Madrid bracelet or something like that. A lot of the bracelets are named after Spanish cities, so I guess that there's an emphasis on that. And Spanish men, just like Italian men, like chains, gold chains, crosses.
But there's small details like this, the small details like the jewelry. Again, when you're viewing the outfit as a whole, it might tie the whole thing together. So it's something to consider. Okay, that's the best for last. The capsule wardrobe. So everything that we've talked about today, a capsule wardrobe, I'm just going to read right off the slide here. It's a small, highly curated collection of pieces designed to do more with less. I think 8 to 10, maybe 12 garments that all work together across hot, active days to a terrace dining with Murshid in the mountains of Spain. It's not about having everything, it's about having the right things. So this is just one example here. You can see we've got 4 pair of pants, and we've got 7 shirts. We've got our bag, our hat, our 2 pair of shoes, our belt, and our sunglasses. If you go through and you play the game, you can match every single shoe to every single pant, to every single shirt, to every single accessory. Absolutely everything plays together. And so the idea being, if you go and you want to do a little DIY laundry, or you want to get it done in Seville, everything that you've packed can be worn together. So that way it's going to give you an ease of mind when you go to throw on something and it's like, well, what is actually clean after all of these hot days? And they just keep coming and coming and coming. It doesn't matter. It all plays together so nicely. To go back to Gary's question about like, okay, what's going to really be practical when we're out there and we're having these active days for Murshid? This pant here, the second, well, if you're coming in from the left, the second in on the left, this pant right here, they're all kind of khaki tone. This is a pant from REI. I've seen this pant in person. It's a beautiful pant. It looks a lot like a slack. It wears a lot like a slack, but it is kind of an active performance pant. So that's going to allow you to kind of move comfortably during the day while still looking really nice and put together because it has those kind of cleaner, more structured lines. As you can see on the far left here, this is a linen drawstring. Those are better than pajamas. I think actually the Indians do call them pajamas. That's where maybe they originated there. Anyway, these are going to be super comfortable. They're also going to look really nice and they're going to breathe really, really well. Moving over, we've got chinos. This is, again, everybody knows what a chino is. They're good. They're practical. So these are some ideas of practical pieces that are going to they're going to look really good. They're going to look pulled together versus we're all trying to go to a baseball game. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's not what we're doing at the moment. The other idea with the accessories is one way to make it all look really pulled together is if you can get colors that play together. So right here, we're using this kind of copper saddle brown right here, and it matches with the band on the hat, it matches with the shoes, and it matches with the belt. It almost seems stupid for me to, say it out loud to point it out. However, again, because everything matches everything, when you go to get dressed every day, you're dressed so intentionally because every single piece was very intentionally put together. And all of a sudden, you just match beautifully no matter what you put yourself in. For this, going a little bit deeper in what we actually have in the collection here, for this collection, I chose collared shirts. It's a really easy way to look a little bit more pulled together. That's not to say that t-shirts don't also work. Like we said, if you have a t-shirt with a bandana, that's a really cool way to look, like very styled and very intentional. But a collared shirt is also, really low-hanging fruit. It's a very easy way to stay pulled together. We've got the long sleeve shirt on the right. That might be nice look to go to dinner with Murshid in. I even throw in, just for fun, this is a sports fabric shirt here on the far left. And the idea being, if that's you, if that's where you're going to go, there's still a way to kind of like pull it all together to wear the sports shirt and have a look that's, you know, a more elevated look with that. This is going to be available in the FAQs for Spain. All of these links are shoppable, so you can shop them. You can use it as inspiration. You can buy the whole look. You can buy part of the look. We're going to have more of these to go through that people just look through and get inspiration from. Is in terms of colors, you really have to think about what make you feel comfortable. Robaneve is going to look amazing in lime green. Me, not so much. So you know yourself, use common sense with what's going to make you feel good, what's going to make you feel put together. If blue is your star color, great. Take that one piece and then build your wardrobe off of that one piece. And that's another way, a nice way to do it. If you already have a shoe and you know you're going to go with that shoe, then play the game. Okay, what pant is going to go with this shoe? What shirt is going to go with that shoe? Whatever item you want to start with, you can build out from there. But again, be intentional with your colors. What color are you going to kind of play with? And here, obviously, we went with blue. That was the color we chose. You don't have to. If you are lime green, say go for it. But go for it all the way, because if you go for it part of the way, it's not going to, you know what I mean? You really have to go for it, whatever you're going to go for. If anyone has questions about any of this, please feel free to text me. I'm very, very happy. We're going to do all the questions in 2 minutes. But in terms of after this presentation, if you have questions after the presentation a couple days from now, please text me. I'm very, very happy to talk to anyone who has questions. Sure. Yeah, yes, please. I'm sorry.
Like, or other people like you said. So it's kind of nice.
Oh, I think I would really highly encourage everyone. Let's see here. Everyone needs to do what's right for them. But when we go on this pilgrimage, whether or not we're physically with Murshid or not, he's, yeah. I wish I had Vince here. This is, so when they did the Spain presentation, they kind of outlined everything very concretely for us. I'm a little bit fuzzy with all of that, but nonetheless, there are specific days, specific cities where we are going to be with Murshid, and there's specific cities where we're not, and that is known in advance. And that being said, you know, for the capsule wardrobe concept, something that's beautiful about it is if we dress with the intention of being with Murshid for the trip, then all of a sudden magically, our whole wardrobe is for Murshid the entire trip, because it had that intention put in from the beginning of it. But I do hear what you're saying. And I would have to go back and I'd have to reference the meeting that we had. You will be with him in the mountains of Ronda for 4 days, and you will be with him in Seville. And Seville is, of course, a very beautiful, bubbling, active city. A lot of really great city life. It's very young and youthful and amazing. And then, of course, the mountains of Ronda is going to be, you know, like a lot like Yupon Dunes, where it's this beautiful kind of bubble of protected space in the mountains where we can just be together. If that's any help.
Just really quickly about capsule wardrobes for men and women. Whenever I'm going someplace, I decide what my basic colors are going to be. So I might do, this is going to be black and white, and then my other colors are going to be blue and red on this trip, for example. And so everything is going to kind of go that way. But these things, you can evolve them yourself. So as Candice said, find the pieces that you really love and you build from that. But just have kind of a disciplined scope of some neutrals and then some brights, and you'll get it together, and it's fun. It's fun to do that.
So really quick, this is the last slide, and I want to let I want to get through this slide and then let anyone who needs to leave. You're so welcome to leave. We're going to take questions after that, and we're going to do a sign up for people who would like it. But I just want people to know, because I know that we're over time now. Okay, so for tailoring, we've talked a lot about tailoring and the big difference that it can make. whether you're going to go out and shop or whether you're not going to shop, whatever you do, it's nice. Tailoring the clothing can make a big difference with the way it looks. If you are going to go out shopping for new clothes, you want to wash them 1 or 2 times. So that way they pre-shrink before you go into the tailor. There's nothing worse than having something tailored before it's pre-shrunk. So that's pro tip. Make sure you wash it before you tailor it. That being said, I don't know if some of you may know Jeanette Barnes. She was Mershida's seamstress. She's going to be coming out for a May 3rd, is that correct?
May 3rd, yeah.
Yep, she's going to be coming out for May 3rd. We have 14 spots for people who would like to come in and have things altered. She's very moderately priced, and she does live a ways away. And so we thought this might be a nice service to people to just bring her here and book her out the day, so that way you can have your clothing tailored. That being said, anyone who needs to go is free to go. We're going to take questions. Anybody who would like to sign up for Jeanette, we have a sign up sheet over there with the time slots. We do ask for the Jeanette sign up that you please come a few minutes early before your appointment, and that you be flexible, because as you know, with doctor's appointments, these things can, it's a little bit like that, it can run over, but we want to try to fit as many people as we can. We want to help as many people as we can. And so if you want to come early, a couple minutes early, and then squeeze you in that time slot.
Hopefully there are going to be a lot more people that Jeanette can't fit in. She does wedding gowns and things like that. So this is a busy season for her. But if anybody has a good seamstress, even somebody who's perhaps at a dry cleaner that could help you, the important thing is that you get the hems right, that you get the length of the sleeve right, that you get the length of the pant, and perhaps a little bit of a dart or something that'll take in a piece of clothing, a shirt that's a little bit too big for you, but fits you just right in the shoulders. Like Ira's got big shoulders, but his body's really slim. So you might want to have something tapered. We're not talking about really fancy tailoring for this. We're really talking about alterations. However, we want to plant the seed in your minds that when you buy clothes off the rack, as they're called, they're made generically for hundreds of thousands of men, and they're really not designed to fit your body. And the thing that makes a difference between the look of inexpensive clothing and the look of quality clothing could just be the factor of the fitting, the fact that it fits well, that it's been tailored. Women know this. This is something that makes a big difference, even if you just buy a dress and it appears to fit, but there's like that little place right there that if you get that taken care of, not only will it wear longer because it's moving with your body, but it also elevates it, and it becomes yours in ways that off the rack never does. So I want to put that into your mind, that you spend a little bit extra when you buy a piece of clothing and just make it fit you correctly.
Okay.
When I think about walking, and I think about this before this presentation, I think about the best kind of walking shoe you can get, which are Hoka, on Clouds or Brooks, things like that. None of them look like what I saw in the slide. Those are much more pretty.
Yes.
Not, with the kind of, you did mention inserts and things, so I'm a little confused because the shoe I would get would be something that would really make my foot really comfortable for 10 miles, 6 miles, 4 miles, day after day, which I don't know whether it matches that kind of an image.
So I think with any shoe, no matter, whether you're going with a Hoka or whether you're going with a penny loafer, you can take the concept of the capsule wardrobe and you can be intentional with it. So if you choose your star color and you say, my star color is blue, well, blue's all over the board. Take your intentional blue, go and get your intentional blue bag that matches. And it doesn't have to be a spot on color match, but has to be a tonal match. Does that resonate with people, a tonal match? So you want to get a tonal match there. And then again, keep building on that. So whatever shoe you need to do, you have to do what's right with you, no matter what it is that we're talking about, the hats, the clothing, the shoes. Do what's right for you, but then be intentional about it. So then just take and style the heck out of a Hoka.
Yeah, we recognize that a lot of the population is older and we have physical needs that the shoes have to address. There's no question. So somebody younger might have the opportunity to really go all out on their style. Somebody that's older has to make accommodations. And of course, we want to be able to go on the trip. So that's the bottom line. Yeah.
You make the hoka look so good that we all wonder why we didn't wear hokas. You do it that good. You just do it all the way. Keith and then David.
Our colors. And I still have my colors book from many times ago. But do you want us to stress the star look rather than say the supportive look? What do you?
I think people have to do what's right for them. So you kind of, think about the shape of what you want to do. I think, again, for me personally, I always like to think about, I'm sitting across from Mershid and what he's going to see. What's a nice thing to see. But then for you, whether it's a star color, whether it's a neutral, you can play with it. I don't think there's a right or wrong answer. It's just taking whatever concept you're going to go with, but taking it all the way, taking the intention fully with, whether you're going to go full on sporty, with lime green, great, but go all the way with it. So whatever you choose, just making sure that you do it with great intention and you're not kind of like 1 foot over here and 1 foot over here. Just take it and go all the way.
Keith, I think that you have fun with your clothes, and I think that you have fun with your colors, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So whatever feels good to you.
One thing,
No.
Well, that's kind of what I did too. I mean, I've been wearing certain clothes to Yukon Dunes for about 12 years, and I looked at them and it's like, it's time. It's just time. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't say that, but be thoughtful about it. Does it work with everything else that you've got? Especially, I think, in Andalusia, we're talking about, like I say, Moorish culture, bright colors. If that feels good to you and you just feel at home in it, I think you can do it. But look at this. Look at the fit.
So you mentioned linens a lot. And my experience of linen is that it wrinkles really badly at the drop of a hat, especially in hot weather. So is there a way to minimize that problem? I mean, it's great for being comfortable in hot weather, but it looks really badly, really quickly. So
That's why we're talking about pre-washed linen. There's a kind of linen that you can, if you look it up on the internet, certain stores sell them. It's like the 100% cotton, 100% linen stores. These are almost all pre-washed, which means that the fibers have been softened. They don't have that crispness. It's the crispness of linen when you really iron it, that as soon as it wrinkles, it's like out the door. That style is just not going to look as good. But when it's pre-washed, it's already, the fiber is a long fiber and it's bent. It's naturally bent. And so it's got kind of a nice, like wiggle to it when you put them on. Get a pre-washed linen, yes. Oh, no, that's a whole different thing. A suit, it's a different quality of linen. Yeah.
And then what I was asking about that very first slide, the guy had a tucked in shirt, a pants with belt loops and no belt. Is that well dressed?
Sure. Absolutely. Those are pants that are designed that way.
Belt loops.
Oh, I'm sorry. Which one?
Yes, he's got belt loops.
He's got belt loops. I think you do you.
Yeah.
No, but truly. I think, again, when you're getting dressed, you look in the mirror and you're like, oh, where's my belt? Put on that belt. You know what I mean? Yes.
Yeah.
No, and you have a good sense of that. You have a great sense of that. And I think, again, it's very individualistic for each male in terms of what they can carry and what they can hold and what's going to look good on them.
And belts have been kind of out for a long time, and young guys hardly even know about belts because they haven't been wearing them, Things are coming in. Fashion is coming back around to a little more classic look. So people are getting crisper and trimmer and they're finishing those things out. But there's a whole population of younger people that wouldn't even consider that they would need a belt with something that's showing like that. So it's become more accepted in the culture. But if we're gonna raise it up a little bit, yeah, it's great with a belt.
Greg first.
Very strong question. No undershirts.
It's up to you. You know, if the perspiration is, you have to control it. That it's totally up to you. If you feel that you can wash your clothes, wash your shirts out at night, get away without an undershirt, you'll be glad. Just think about that kind of temperature, you know, what your body does. Some people perspire a lot, some people hardly perspire.
You're going to perspire. If you're someone who doesn't perspire, watch, I'm going to say this, and then it's not going to be that hot. But it runs the chance of being really, really, really hot. It runs that chance.
Good question.
Say that again?
Sheer, we love.
Yes. So this is a new thing. And actually, I'm sorry, it didn't make it into the presentation. Oh, that's right. I'm supposed to be.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
You too. Just sign up. Right. Yeah, merino wool, like it's particularly for a lightweight sweater, those sheer sweaters. I mean, I have merino wool skirts that are very sheer. They're wonderful. It's going to breathe, but it's not going to breathe as much as linen. That's just going to be the most, or a sheer cotton, like something like this. So I'm a big fan of merino, but not everybody knows how to use it. So we didn't want to muddy this up. Michael. Wow. Knits are going to be good. Knits are going to be good for you because that's really going to smash down pretty well. Knits, like a cotton knit or a linen knit. Linen knits are fabulous. Like a Lacoste shirt, you know, what you're wearing, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Well, you mentioned fitting, but given my body figure, I think I look better loose fit.
Not.
No, it shouldn't, you know, so that.
I don't want to say tight fit. I want to say something that skims your body, that shows your body, as opposed to something that's a little, you know, voluminous.
Well, I don't think I'm as bad as some people, but the male paunch.
You look darn good.
Yeah. So the thing is, I feel I look better if it's not tight fitting. So I'm just wondering, but.
Your choice. I really encourage you to do a little research. Just take a look at what people are wearing over in Italy and Spain. Just kind of adjust your eye and then bring that consciousness to whatever you're putting on, you know, for yourself or in the store, and just kind of give it a, you know, consider that.
Too many models over 35.
No, it was hard to find them. And the problem is almost all the ones that I found were wearing jackets.
Oh, losing their.
There are not as many. The ones that I did see that were bald had beards like this big. And you couldn't even see what they were wearing. So, I mean, you know, this was not exhaustive. We put this together pretty fast. But you know that I tried to find older men, but they always like to show the older guys distinguished, you know, wearing a jacket. And Candice is particularly, it's her hot button. She really doesn't want people to count on jackets too much. Yeah. You know, these capsule wardrobes that Candice is putting together, she's literally going to have several pages. You can take this page, you can take that page, and you can look through the things that she's suggesting and find them online. They're all going to have links, everything that she's finding. Now, I don't want to see everybody wearing the same shirt because they all went to the same place. That's exactly. And so she's putting together these pages of capsule wardrobes. That'll be, yeah, exactly. Yeah, right. That's up and leave. That's all I wanted to know. You know, you can have somebody take you shopping. You can have someone take you shopping, which is what we're supposed to be gearing up for personal presentation in the future. Michael Marks did that. He's, if you've noticed how cute he is. He's had his wardrobe worked on and developed, and he's expanded. At this point, he might be expert enough that he could do that, but so he's kind of informed about how that works, and we'll be offering that as part of the program for men and women going forward. But you know, you can find things at H&M that are, you know, they're kind of throwaway clothes, but if they're made of cotton and linen 100%, chances are you've got a good chance that they're going to last for several seasons. I went to Nordstrom's. I find that their clothes are so well built and so well constructed that they were heavy. So I was not able to buy too much there because I felt that it was, you know, really for an indoor event in Bali or something like that. Macy's has things. There's just lots of places to check. You're welcome. Candice has that in her connection. Yeah, they're nice to. They're nice. Yeah, she's going to continue with it. She's really into the online shopping thing, so she's very good at that. I'm not so much an online shopping person. I'm more like drag myself to the stores and do it there. Michael? Okay, I think it's going to go out to everybody. I mean, this is just obviously quite an overview, but we really we really only had time to do it for one group of people, and the men were the ones that, hands down, needed.
When will the women, there will be one for women?
Not prior to our trip. No, you can talk to either of us individually. You can talk to either of us individually. And we'll be doing this, you know, in the future as well. But just considering what we each have on our schedules. Yeah, I mean, I think those, absolutely, those kinds of tips, they'll go out. So anybody that wants this is welcome to it. That's why we had opened up, like Mary Kay's here, you know, women, anybody else that would want to know.
I've already chosen.
Oh, great. Okay, well, I thought I had chosen mine. I thought I had chosen mine too, until I went out and kind of came across some things and colors that I hadn't considered, like not the color that I would have thought that I'd be taking, but I found like 4 things that, oh, I can do this and this and this, and suddenly I changed my color plan. And I waited